Hey, Field Hang 10! Watch out for a new wave of episodes for Forgotten Cinema Season 9, Forgotten Summer.
Ugh, really, Butler? A theme season? Let me guess, we're gonna talk about films that were released in the coveted summer months that for some reason seem to be forgotten by audiences.
You know it, bro. What we liked about them or maybe didn't. But we'll always recommend people check them out. Maybe they'll find their own Forgotten Summer gem.
So check out Forgotten Summer wherever you get your podcast, part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
Hold on, gotta catch this wave.
We're sitting at desk in a recording booth.
Do you like beer?
Do you like podcasts?
Do you like beer podcasts?
Then check out Crackin' One Open, a podcast about brews, news, and pop culture reviews.
Every week, we crack open a new craft beer from breweries around the country.
And sometimes the world.
We'll talk about how it was made, what's in it, the history of the brew, and the brewery.
Then we'll give our tasting notes, and while we're finishing up, we'll talk about some of the latest goings-on in the world of pop culture.
So check out Crackin' One Open with Mike and Elise, part of the Forgotten Entertainment family.
Hello there, and welcome Nerdy Knights at the well-rounded table to Bohemian Geek Studies, where we take extremely darky dives into our favorite fandoms. I'm Colleen McMillan, Jedi Master and Rebel Scum collaborator.
And I am Pirate Jedi, Anders Drew. Unfortunately, Sarah O'Connor, the Queen of Queries, is off this week. But
she's Queen of Art.
She's the Queen of Art at the art show this weekend. Glad she's finally able to get back to those.
Yay!
Yes. The world is coming back.
Finally.
Seriously. But no matter what rank you carry, one thing will always remain constant. Much to learn, we still have.
That's darn right. This season on Bohemian Geek Studies, we're taking our detailed darky dive into Star Wars Rebels. Today, we're diving into Season 2, Episodes 19 and 20, The Forgotten Droid and the Mystery of Chopper Face. Love it.
We have done our best to scramble our signal and will be avoiding spoilers, but while I'm at it, I will throw in an adult content warning for the younglings. So without further ado, let's hop on board the coast and punch it to Adelon to explore our holocrons of knowledge. Colleen, open up that first holocron.
You got it. Well, I'm going to send you into it first, actually. Our first holocron is the Journal of the Wills, where we go over the plot and, the synopsis and summary for these episodes. And this week, it's hysterical and terrifying.
It's all comedy and then a horror movie. It's ridiculous. So, all right.
It really is. It's a buddy cop comedy, and then all of a sudden, everything's gone horribly wrong.
Sounds about right. All right. So, starting us off with the Forgotten Droid, the Rebel fleet might be finally getting itself out of danger. A new base is seemingly within their grasp, but the fleet has just one more obstacle to overcome. Their ship carrier doesn't have enough fuel to make the jump. So, Hera and the Ghost crew volunteer to go to an Imperial shipping depot and steal some. While he's supposed to be prepping the ship for a quick getaway, Chopper, after some really not okay jibing from Zeb and Ezra, I was like, guys, fuck off. Leave my man alone.
They were being rude.
They were being
They
straight
thought they
up
were
rude.
so funny.
Yeah. So he leaves the Ghost and to go try to get a replacement leg for his mismatched one. Blah. Yeah. After the Ugnaught junk dealer refuses to sell at a price Chopper can afford, which... rude, but also dude's got to make a living. I don't think he was trying to cheat him out of anything. He was actually going for what it would go for, and Chopper just happens to be broke.
Yeah.
But Chopper being Chopper, he steals the leg instead and hides from the pursuing stormtroopers through a random side door.
Whoopsies, surprise. The door was to a cargo freighter and it's taken off. Chopper tries to hide in the ship, but is discovered by AP5 Gem, the inventory droid who is trying to retrieve the ship's manifest for its useless douchebag captain. This guy needs to get demoted right away. Mistreatment of droids, unfair. Chopper manages to convince AP5 not to report him to security, and as a thank you, he zaps AP5's restraining bolts off. Yay, liberation! Chopper manages to beat down the captain hilariously, and then he lures the troopers into the cargo hold and releases said cargo hold from the main part of the ship. Despite AP5 in the background going, the odds are not good for this. This is not going to work. Actually,
it's only got a 10%
chance of working. Oh my God, I love it so much. On the bridge, whoever gets there first is the captain, obviously. They contact the Ghost.
And of course, it turns out the rebels are in trouble.
Shocking.
I know, right? The fleet is under attack, and the Ghost now has to try and get through this battle so that they can refuel the carrier. After its main guns are taken out, Ketsu, aka now Shadow Leader, swoops in for the save. The refueling is almost complete and the fleet is preparing to jump to the Yos system where they think they will be safe. But not so fast. AP5 hears the words Yos system and warns Chopper that the Empire is setting a trap there. So what they thought was a deserted system is actually crawling with Star Destroyers. Chopper relays the info to Hera, who does put her faith in the droid. Kanan tells her, don't think about it too much. It's like, we are betting the entire Rebel fleet on Chopper. Don't think about it.
Don't think about it. Fantastic.
As Chopper once again fights off that stupid cargo freighter captain, AP5 works to find coordinates for a safer system. And as he is transmitting them, he is shot by the captain, who gets then... I mean, he got beat down before, but now Chopper is just like, dude, you shot my friend, and he F's him up. Like, I'm actually, I do want to know, did he kill the captain?
I mean, I wouldn't put it past him to jettison the guy into space.
Yeah, I mean, he went from just like hitting him with this leg to Chopper like up in the air, spinning fast so that the leg has become like a helicopter propeller blade, repeatedly hitting the guy across the face. Moral of the story, guys, don't ever fuck with Chopper's friends.
Never.
The fleet is able to find its new base at the coordinates for Adelon, and Chopper donates the parts from the stolen leg to repair his new friend, AP5.
Who then says, I knew you were stupid. Why would you give me your parts? And then it's like, Chopper, of course, swears at him. He's like, you could get destroyed on 6 systems for saying that to me. Oh, I cannot. I love AP5 and Chopper's dynamic so much.
Absolutely.
But we'll talk about that later. Next, we have the next episode, The Mystery of Chopper Base, which I love this episode, even though it is creepy as fuck. The rebels are setting up their new base on the planet Adelon. Kanan and Ezra are in the middle of what appears to be a marathon sparring match that ends in a tie. Well, a tie. Kanan's like, there's no tie. You're dead. Like, that's not a tie. Once Ahsoka returns, they plan to depart from the Ghost to try and solve the ongoing Inquisitor problem. Everyone seems to recognize the necessity of the plan, but no one seems really that happy about it. Ezra and Zeb share a nice moment with a drink. It's got to be booze, guys, let's be fair.
Absolutely.
And the sunset, promising that when they're reunited, they can swap war stories. Such a cute bro.
The brothers in
moment.
arms. It was great.
I'm here for it.
I'd forgotten about that moment, like, until I rewatched this, and I was like, oh my God, this is so good.
It's really sweet and really quiet, which is weird for Ezra and Zeb.
Yeah. Well, because it
And
also
Zeb's
starts
just
out
quiet.
like Ezra is like seeking
Looking for
Zeb
Zeb.
out. Yeah.
And he's like, Chopper, where's Zeb? And Chopper's like, I don't know. He's like, I don't care. He's chasing that freaking snail thing around the ship. And at first he points to their empty room. And Ezra's like, he's not in there. Chop's like, I don't know what to tell you. Just goes away. I love it. All right, so this is where things get a little bit creepy. As part of setting up the base, soldiers were placing sensors around the perimeter to detect anyone trying to sneak up on them. Lieutenant Dicer failed to check in after placing hers, so Sabine and Rex go to investigate. They're attacked by several Krykna spiders. No, thank you. And Rex is carried off with adorably. He's like, get off me, you crawlers. I love Rex's voice. He's great. Sabine returns to base to get help, and the ghost flies to the rescue.
Or so it thinks.
Or so, yeah.
In the tunnels underground, Hera sends Kanan and Ezra in one direction while she, Sabine, and Zeb take the other because they need to get used to operating without the 2 Jedi. It's kind of a tough moment for Hera there, but
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
I forgive her for this.
Yeah, I mean, she's stressed out,
Yeah.
and she's trying to make Kanan feel bad.
So Ezra attempts to connect with the spiders because that's his thing, but he really only seems to anger them further. The others find Rex and pry him free, but in doing so, they wake up all the other Krykna. Kanan and Ezra manage to cut a path out of the tunnels, and everyone runs for the ghosts. Unfortunately, the Kryknas have used their webbing to ground the ship, and they can't take off. Seriously, that stuff has to be strong. When Hera's like, we're at full power, I'm thinking like full sublight,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah,
can't,
they
they can't
yeah.
break the webbing, yet the lightsabers are able to cut through it like that. I don't know.
Magic.
Yes. So Sabine sees the sensor relay off in the distance and realizes that its signal can repel the Krykna spiders. Ezra devises a plan quickly that involves him and Kanan force throwing Sabine over the horde of Krykna to retrieve the sensor. They overshoot it just a little bit, and Sabine does almost plummet to her death off of a cliff. But she does manage to get the sensor and holds off the monsters while Kanan and Ezra cut the webbing.
Whew, that was a tense moment. I was like, really, you guys? Really? Come on now. Grab her back.
I know. I was like, Kanan, come on. You've done this before. Grab her back.
Yeah, I guess things were happening too quickly, but yeah. Good thank goodness Sabine is very athletic.
Mm-hmm.
So the Ghost is able to lift off and get back to base, where Sabine designs a sensor relay fence to protect the base from future Krykna attacks. And they are like circling the base. Like these guys were going to try and get in there. With a push from Sabine, Kanan talks to Hera frickin' finally about leaving and promises that they will be together again. A beautiful hug ensues, y'all.
Yeah.
So good. Pelvis to pelvis. They are dating, y'all. Like let's not even joke about this. Sarah knows the plan is the right one, but always thought that no matter what they were facing, they'd be facing it together. It's fine, everything's fine. Ezra's trying to again connect with the Kryknas, but he can't manage it. Like, fine, I guess we won't be friends. It's great.
It's a great line.
Oh, great.
Ezra had some great lines in these episodes.
He really did. I like his surliness and also just his spaz attitude. It's so good. He's trying so hard to use the Force for what it's meant to be used for. And the spiders are just like, nah, bitch. We don't roll with that side of the Force, I guess. He spots Morai, which only can mean one thing. Ahsoka's back. The two have a brief conversation about understanding the Force and set out to depart for their mission with Kanan. Bum, bum, bum.
Bum, bum. Who's ready for Twilight of the Apprentice?
Everyone.
All right, let's move then into our second holocron, the Will of the Force. This is where we explore the themes just theme from today's episodes. I'll start us off with episode 19, the theme of choice. This episode does a lot to highlight the actual sentience and autonomy that droids have. Shout out to Sarah O'Connor, the defender of droids. Droid Liberation Front. Another shout out to L3.
Mm-hmm.
So Chopper makes a very deliberate choice to go after that leg. Even though Hera warned him off, he let himself get riled up and he's like, I want this thing. I'm going to do it. More like you would think that is going somehow against programming, but he does it anyway. And then AP5 makes several choices throughout the episode to help his friend. And you can see him struggling with it the first time. He's like,
even with the restraining bolt on. Like,
I know.
Dang. Ugh. It's so good. I love that they give the droids sentience. Like they're not just mindless automatons wandering around the ships. They actually have personality.
Yeah. I love AP5's personality. I love that he's like, I don't mind the fact that I've been like relegated from navigator to inventory droid. I mind the fact that this captain's a douchebag.
Yeah. He's like, I'll still do my job if my supervisor weren't so crap.
Yeah.
Which fair. I think we all feel that way.
Absolutely.
Next, for episode 20, we have the changing teamwork dynamic. Like, what happens when part of the team can't participate anymore? Making up for the missing team member can be super difficult, especially when that person is like an integral part of the group.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can feel Hera here. Like, there's a reason why she's upset.
Yeah.
Because Kanan and now Ezra are usually part of every single mission planning that they do. They're super powerful, and if they leave, it's kind of like they're abandoning them to their fate. Like, what would have happened if they hadn't reconnected in those caves? Like, Zeb, Sabine, and Hera would have been screwed. And Rex was with them too, but they might have still escaped, but
they wouldn't have been able to cut themselves out of the webbing.
No, they would not have. So like, this is going to be interesting going forward if they have to keep separating.
Yeah.
Which this theme leads into our series theme rather nicely.
Absolutely. Back again with that chosen family. And what happens when it's time for any family to start taking separate paths? I mean, this is the coming of age piece where the kids are starting to grow up. Mm-hmm. You know, Sabine's the one who pushes Kanan to talk to Hera. Ezra is growing more and more powerful. He is on par with Kanan here. Like
He has a plan. Like it's his plan that they use.
It's his plan. They're dueling, and Kanan can't beat him. They are both trying their darndest. And it's time to change. There are different types of families, and it's time for this one to reshape itself a little bit. And that's always a hard thing to do.
Super, super hard. Everything's fine. I'm sure the next 2 seasons of this show will be perfectly fine.
Oh, gosh. All right. Well, then let's move right into our third holocron, the Galaxy's Populace, where we look at the characters and relationships highlighted in these episodes. I'll start us off with AP5 and Chopper and their dynamic. This is just an instantly classic pairing in my book. Very, very classic buddy comedy, Abbott Costello type.
Completely.
They just play off each other. They complement each other so well. And I just love that AP5 refuses to put up with Chopper's shit.
Yeah.
Like, even though he's absolutely chasing him all over the ship, he's looking down. He's not afraid to be like, you know what? No, bye.
Right, yeah, like
all those little small chase scenes. Like, we get the shots of like Chopper zipping down a hallway and AP5 like slowly walking after him.
So cute. It's like, I'll get you eventually.
All right. And then that moment up on the bridge where AP5 shows off his real sass, like, okay, you can be captain, drops the leg, sits in the captain chair. What? You abandoned your post. I almost did a spit take when I saw that the first time.
So good.
Yes. So AP5 is an RA7 protocol droid, which we first saw on the Death Star in A New Hope.
Mm-hmm. They look like little bugs. Like
they do. They have very, very bug eyes going.
Mm-hmm. It's like, Geonosis? What's happening? They were not designed by the Geonosians, but still, they kind of have that weird bug-like appearance. Sticking with our droid buddies, next we have Hera and Chopper. This episode gives us a little more insight into their relationship. Chopper tells AP5 how she rescued him like, during the Clone Wars when Hera was probably pretty young. So she like went out to a crashed ship to rescue a droid. It's no wonder her dad was kind of teed off about it. Like, you went out into an active war zone disaster and to save a droid.
I did very much enjoy AP's reaction to hearing that it was a Y-Wing. It's like, oh yeah, those do have problems on reentry.
Yeah, they're like, those are shit. Like, it's no wonder your ship crashed. I do love it. Oh, it's too good. Yeah, I mean, it's so sweet. Like, he's like, a sentient rescued you? Oh. Like, I guess that should get some respect. Yeah. Which is really cute. I mean, Hera goes full mom too on Chopper this episode, which is great. She uses his full designation when she's yelling at him through the comm. She's like, say what? What's it be?
I just had flashbacks where it'd be like, Gareth Zeb Aurelius.
Yes. So then Chopper knows he is in a big trouble when he gets home.
But he does save the day, so we probably avoided some punishment.
Too much punishment. Plus, he donates his leg.
He does.
So
that was
that
very
AP
sweet.
Can be reactivated. So I'm sure Hera's like, I guess he learned something. So we're just going to let this one go.
Another couple that gets highlighted here, we got Kanan and Ezra. And my first question on this is Ezra getting taller? Like, I actually noticed it in this particular episode. I was like, he does look like he's growing. Mm-hmm. Like, he just had a growth spurt.
I think he's growing.
And I mean, these two just have such a great bond. They are more than evenly matched with their lightsabers, and their banter is just chef's kiss. Ezra has some amazing one-liners throughout this. Mm-hmm. Like, when Kanan's like, you know, that's my move, right? And it's like, hey, I steal from the best. What can I say? So nice little compliment, little sass. And then as they're arguing and Kanan runs off, he's like, you always change the subject when I start winning.
Such a parent move too.
I know.
It's like, you're winning the argument. It's time to pivot to something else.
Yes. They just have such great like father-son energy. And I think Kanan he's definitely going a little bit harder than normal on Ezra, but you can tell that he is just scared. Yeah. Kanan is absolutely scared of not only losing Ezra, but losing everybody. He has no idea what to do about the Inquisitors.
No.
I mean, he's just really starting to come into his own as a Jedi Knight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he's terrified by what happened in the temple the last time they were there.
So scared. Well, and they don't know how many Inquisitors there are.
They don't.
I mean, we know, but they don't know. They don't know how many Inquisitors could come for them if they kill these two or somehow get rid of them without killing them, which I'm sure will happen. Everything's fine, you guys. No one dies in Star Wars. All right. So next we have, speaking of this, Kanan's relationships. We have Kanan and Hera. Mom and Dad are worried, y'all. Kanan appears to have completely gotten over his I don't want to be part of the greater rebellion phase, which is good to see. Like, he's realizing that it's important to stick with them and that Hera is an important part of the rebellion. It should make Hera happy. Just look at his excited face. Freddie Prinze Jr. delivery. Amazing. Perfection. I love it. Hera doesn't look super impressed, though. She's worried about this side mission that Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka are planning. She is super salty in the tunnels when she stated that they needed to get used to operating without the two Jedi. As Zeb and Hera and Sabine are like, okay, we're going to walk right by that and not worry about that until later. Of course, they are able to work through it again by talking about it. How do we solve our communication issues, y'all? Oh.
Communicates.
What? I do like that they do talk about it, though. They don't leave mad.
Right.
Even though Kanan is kind of being a doofus about it, and Sabine has to tell him to go talk to Hera. When he's like, what do you mean? She's fine. Like, what? Oh, Kanan.
God. Oh, Kanan.
Kanan, she hasn't let you touch her for like days. You think everything's fine? Everything. Yeah.
One more quick relationship to highlight. We talked about it a little bit earlier already. Ezra and Zeb, I mean, they just do so well together. And another one of Ezra's great lines is when the Krykna spiders are crawling all over the ship, they realize they have to cut free. And Zeb's like, I don't want to do that. What are you talking about? And Ezra's on the comm being like, oh, great, Zeb. Me, one of the last Jedis ever in existence, might get eaten because you were too scared to go outside.
And Zeb's like, I'm fine with that. Too good. I love them. Their dynamic has grown so much.
Oh, absolutely.
I love it.
I mean, sink or swim when you have to be roommates with somebody.
Very true.
Yeah. All right. Before we get into our next Holocron, we'd like to take a moment to tell you about this week's sponsor, Brush. Brush is an electronic toothbrush that will change the way you think about brushing your teeth. With powerful sonic technology and ultra gentle bristles, the Brush redefines what it means to have super clean teeth. It's like that really good feeling when you leave the dentist, you get that fresh whole mouth clean, your teeth are nice and slick. It's like that every single day. Our listeners can get 15% off their total purchase with code POD15. That's POD15. Follow the link in the show notes and enter the code POD15 to get your exclusive discount and upgrade your oral care routine.
Sounds great. We'd also like to tell you about our new partnership with Fiverr. Do you need a freelancer to help with your website, a designer, or maybe you need someone to help write expert articles and blogs, or maybe an expert presentation designer to help you with the big work project? Look no further than the #1 freelance marketplace, Fiverr. You can find designers, programmers, and more within seconds, some for as low as $5 per gig. Fiverr is the ideal tool to help you with pressing projects. Just post your gig or search for freelancers and you're off. Don't deal with the hassle of finding freelancers by yourself. Let Fiverr help you. See the link in the show notes to get started. Please note, Bohemian Geek Studies is an affiliate partner of Fiverr. We may receive commissions on purchases and services you buy after you click the link. These commissions help support the growth of Bohemian Geek Studies, and we appreciate your continued support, always.
Always.
All right, everybody, we are now going to move into our 4th Holocron, Binding the Galaxy Together, where we will go over our homages and Easter eggs from these episodes. I'll get us started with Ketsu. Ketsu Anu is back.
I 100% forgot she shows up here.
I know, I did too. I completely forgot. I was like, I know she's going to show up eventually someday, but this part I was like, oh, all right.
Yeah.
I love her. Bring her back always. We don't get to see too much of her, though, but she does swoop in with her ship, the Shadowcaster, to help out the team. And then we have another fun sighting, another fun alien sighting. Ugnaughts. We love the Ugnaughts. We love you. I miss Quill so much.
Oh, Quill.
This guy doesn't seem shady at all, though, right? Right? He's running a legitimate business.
Some
So
of
what
his
if
stuff
it's
might be liberated,
not stolen.
not stolen.
He so needs to go work for Lando. This would be such a good partnership.
That would be an interesting partnership. Or you know what would be better? Hondo.
I mean, yes.
I mean, that's just me, but a
Bring
couple
on
other
Hondo.
things. Yes, a couple other things I noticed at that junk stand. Right next to the leg Chopper wanted was a pit droid, which we saw in as far back as Phantom Menace, and what appears to be a like protocol droid's head just kind of hanging in the back. It looks very much C-3PO's head.
Yeah. Yes. Maybe foreshadowing that Chop is going to meet a protocol droid.
Could be.
Just a different one.
Yep. Chopper and AP5 also realized that they were both involved in the Ryloth campaign during the Clone Wars. Cham Syndulla badmouthed Chop with the last set of episodes, so we're pretty sure he wouldn't think much of AP5 either, but I have the same response I have to everything Cham Syndulla does. Fuck that guy.
Hard agree. We hate you, Sham. But good job, I guess, being Hera's dad. Like, you gave us Hera, so we're going to at least give you props for that one. Speaking of the droids, next we have restraining bolts. These are these small cylindrical devices that can be affixed to a droid in order to limit its functions. You know, that's fine. And enforce its obedience.
Unless they, trick their master into removing it. Shouts to R2.
Yes. R2's such little shit. I love it. He's like, oh, yes, this restraining bolt. Oh, no, I can't replay the message of the hot chick. I'm sorry. And then Luke takes it off immediately. He's like, oh, I totally don't know what you're talking about. What message from the hot chick? I mean, there was no message. I love it so much. So the restraining bolts restricted the droids from any movement its master did not desire, and also forced it to respond to signals produced by a handheld control unit in some cases, like Vizago used in earlier Rebels episodes on his droids. Yes.
All right, next up we have the Krykna Spider. I mean, it has 6 legs, not 8, but everyone calls it a spider, so we will too. If even Ezra can't connect to a creature, you know it's bad news. So the original concept art was from Ralph McQuarrie piece, originally designed for Empire Strikes Back. Yes, they ultimately went with the Wampa instead for that one. Glad they did. I would be happy to never see these guys again. This one,
but we do.
We do. So this one isn't so much of an Easter egg when this movie came out. It is more of a future one because now they have appeared later on in the Mandalorian episode, The Passenger. You can also get those delightful little creepy crawlers at Disney's Galaxy's Edge. But why would you ever do that?
It's horrifying. I went into the creature shop and was like, why? Why is this a thing? I couldn't even touch it. I'm like, no, horrible. Why are we doing this to our children? But some of the kids were looking at them. So I'm like, oh, I guess it looks cool. They don't know what it is, maybe.
They need a bad guy. They need a bad guy to play with.
That's true. You do need a bad guy. We did have alien toys from the Ridley Scott / James Cameron movies when we were little. So and kids are weird. It's just what happens.
That's explaining a lot in my head right now.
Hey, come on now. My brother and I, we were really into science fiction and apparently horror movies. Yeah, we were young when we had those, you guys. We're strange. It's fine. Next, we have the Morai, yay, and the Convert birds. We see 2 of these little cuties when Zeb and Ezra have their little big bro moment. And then Morai herself flies over Ezra as he's gazing up into the sky near Chopper Base, right before Ahsoka pops her little head over and is like, what you doing? Like, oh, yay, I love it. Getting back to those aliens, I guess Lieutenant Dicer's just dead because they didn't try to find her and she's never mentioned again. This is like big alien xenomorph vibes from the way Rex was hanging from the ceiling too in the spider cave. RIP to almost everyone from the Nostromo. We love you and everything is not fine. Ripley got away, I guess.
Yeah, they should have just listened to the smart woman and the cat.
Yes, obviously. Always listen to the smart woman and the cat.
Speaking of creatures, though, we also have those little hermit crab guys. Those are called dokmas. Zeb calls them bowguns, which refers to the Lasat word for the dark side of the Force. Little extreme, Zeb, I think.
Just a little.
I might call the Krykna spiders closer to that, and not the little hermit crabs.
Right? They're
Just
so
saying.
cute. They're just so little cute. They're so precious. It's like porgs though, because I guess they get everywhere because they were in the Ghost.
Yeah.
Just like the porgs get into the Falcon in the sequel trilogy. So maybe they won't be able to get rid of them. They were so cute when they were like shuddering with fear next. They went right for that sensor too.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
They seemed to know that the Kryknas would not like that. So that they're pretty smart little dudes. Like, follow the dogmas, I guess. They know what's going on. Just listen to the little hermit crabs. And then last but not least, we get music. Like, yes, it's not a score. This is like actual in-universe music, which we don't get to hear very often. Zeb seems to be kind of a fan of whatever Star Wars universe's hair bands are. Little metal guitar riffs going on there. I loved it. And then, of course, he's also sharing a beer with Ezra. It's
Absolutely.
like, here you go. And it's like in a can. I'm not used to seeing like a canned beverage on Star Wars either. So that was kind of cool. Zeb is like, what's his name from Onward? He reminds me of the Big Brother.
Oh, yeah, the
from
Big Brother and Onward.
Yes, Chris Pratt's character.
Yeah.
Just like he's totally a bad influence on his little brother, but that's fine.
It's good.
All right, everybody. We are now heading into our 5th Holocron, the Newbie from Naboo. This is Flo's first time watching Rebels. She's almost done with season 2. Oh my goodness.
I know.
We're getting so
Can't
close.
believe it.
Ooh, it's going to be good. We've tasked her with watching the episodes, giving us her questions and her takes. So let's see what the ambassador for Naboo thought about these episodes this week.
Okay, so y'all already know what I'm going to say about these.
I do.
I do.
But they are important for further things.
So I have this thing. I'm going to start off with just like how I'm feeling about the show as a whole right now, I think.
Okay.
I am really enjoying the show. I think the show is great. I think it's hilarious. I think it's like really cool to get to see all these new people and have all these new adventures. However, I'm like getting pretty fatigued by the idea of like, let's go on a side quest and then like stumble into like something important. It's just like this Chopper episode in particular, I was let's just get started. Okay, so episode 19, The Forgotten Droid. I first of all had to laugh at Zeb, who kept calling him Chopper. That was very cute.
Mhm.
Yes, that was good one, Zeb. Well done. All the laughs. I have to say, like, in this episode, Chopper really reminded me of Rocket. And I don't know if you guys got that, but like Chopper stealing that leg, it was just like, wow, you are best friends with Rocket from Guardians of the Galaxy. It was
Definitely.
very cute. It was just, I think they would actually like get along really well. And I think they're very like analogous characters to each other. So
Mhm.
super into it. Okay. I'm just going to read this note verbatim. I wrote, poor, weird, bug-eyed, vacuum-mouthed droid who sounds like Snape.
Snape droid.
Like, what was that guy? That guy was wild. I ended up liking him, but he was kind of a tough hang. I don't think I'd be friends with him. My next note just says Chopper is going to cut a bitch, which honestly could fit into any episode. It's not
Really
like-
could. Like,
Mhm.
don't fuck with Chopper or his friends.
Yeah.
Do not even try. I was pretty into Chopper being the liberator of droids in this one. Like that was super cool. Like big L3 vibes, which we know how much I like L3. It was cool to see Ketsu again, although like
Mhm.
not for very long. It was
No.
like, hey Ketsu, bye Ketsu. Okay.
It was
bye.
kind of like a reminder. By the way, she still exists.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
I did not like that like balding Imperial guy at all. He was a
He's
dick. And I did like that Chopper donated his replacement leg. So again, like nothing happened in this episode
It's
except
comedy.
there was a lot of comedy. And like I understand that they discovered that like the other system was now like occupied and they couldn't have a rebel base there. And then AP5 was like able to send new coordinates to like a place that would be better. I understand that like that was super important. but it just feels like they stumbled into that by like mistake.
Yeah.
And so
the
I'm
rebellion does that all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's so crazy. Like,
Sure.
is the light side of the force just like
It just feels like they're kind of incompetent at this point, and it's like I don't
British
know that
They're
intelligence
new.
during World War II. Yeah.
but like how new are they? Like they went
Very.
through the Clone Wars.
Yeah, but as like a unit, like being together, they're still very new.
I just
Like,
feel like
It's not so from the rebellion's perspective, in terms of being like the full alliance, like almost as like a standing army unto itself. It's really not until Rogue One that finally solidifies and gels. They're independent. They're still like independent cells loosely connected.
so I get that. I just feel like the Ghost Crew was more capable in season 1.
Yeah. When
And
they
I
could
feel
operate
like-
alone.
Yeah, and I feel like they've regressed in a lot of their skills where now it's just like, let's always split up, and somehow like we are always getting into some sort of like horrible mishap where like we get split up for a longer time, or we get captured, or we're like later taken by fucking spiders. It's just like stay together and like get it together. Like I just feel like Hera and Kanan were like very in charge of the Ghost Crew in the first season, and like able to make decisions and like able to operate like rescue missions and like do things. This one, it was just like, also I was just like, Hera, you're just leaving him? Like that was tough.
She was mad.
Just,
That
I
oh
get
yeah,
that
she
she
was
was mad, but it's just like she's just like, yeah, he fucked up. And it's just like, all right, calm down there. Like,
Yes. I mean,
relax.
she would have gone back for him, but yeah, she's like, we need to
but
get the
was she?
fuel.
Like, was she going
Oh, yeah.
back?
She
Oh
would
yeah,
go
they
back
would
for
they
him.
would have
Yeah.
they would have gone back to search for him. It's
But they needed to bring the fuel. Otherwise,
Okay, but like, what if he was already stripped for parts? Like, you can't just be like,
then he'd be fucked.
but
I'll
they
get him
know. I
later."
mean, they also know that he was going to cut a bitch if anyone tried to do that.
I mean, fair, but like, he almost didn't make it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Wasn't it
Like-
adorable of Ezra though to be like, we have to go back?
Yes, God bless Ezra.
Gotta go get
I
our
just really
uncle.
love Ezra. He's
Yeah.
very,
Ezra's
very.
such a
So
sweet-
this one though, like I like the chopper centricness of the episode. I like giving him some time to shine. But I think, Flo, it sounds kind of like you would be more interested in like an actual standard mission. Everyone's together, but we just kind of stay with Chopper the whole time. Like we just see what a mission looks like from his perspective.
Yes,
cool.
I would have liked that. And I did like the episode. Like, I did think it was really interesting that, like, we know exactly what Chopper is saying and feeling, even though he can't speak. Like, I think that's brilliant.
Yeah.
Like, they do an amazing job with that. Like, I'm not trying to take away from that at all.
No,
No,
It's
no, no.
just- I
But yeah, it definitely does feel like a side mission
Mhm.
where
and I'm just I just feel like I don't trust the Ghost Crew anymore. Like, I don't trust them to like
Interesting.
make good decisions or like achieve a mission because they're just like, oops, like we did this right. Like I'm
Yes.
sure they're gonna like level up soon because look at your face. But
it depends on what you mean by leveling up.
I just like, yeah, I just felt like not enough happened in this episode where I was like, this should be an entire episode.
Mhm.
So, anyways, I'll move on
Yeah.
to the next one. Okay, so first of all, they called this base Chopper base because of Chopper, right?
Yes. Because
Okay,
he's like the one that found it effectively, even though it was
That's-
really AP5.
Fair, justice for AP5, I guess, but that guy's also kind of a dick. So I'm all about Chopper base. I think that's very sweet. Good job giving recognition to the droids. Oh, also, I wanted to ask: is the last episode Sarah's favorite episode? Because I feel like it was so droid centric that it was just like, there's no way this
she
is
does
not,
like
She
AP5.
she does.
Yeah.
I also love AP5, and it is
Interesting.
kind of sad that she couldn't be with us today. The defender of droids could not
To
be here
celebrate.
to celebrate the Forgotten
Celebrate
Droid.
the droids, yeah. Well, I don't really like AP5 yet, but that's fine. I just feel like he's like gonna say like turn to page 394 or whatever any second. It's just very strange. Okay, episode 20. I loved the Hera content in this episode. I
Yes.
loved it. First of all, just like her standing there, like watching the boys like practice lightsaber stuff.
Yeah.
I was like, this is precious. It's just like, you could tell like what she's thinking. She's like, "Ah, there's like the hubs and my son," and it's like, "Ah, so cute. Love her." I do think that Kanan is pushing Ezra way too hard right now, and I feel like this is gonna bite him in the ass. I feel like his last like time at the temple where they're like, Ezra's gonna go dark. He's like, I can't let that happen, and now he's gonna like hold on too tight and like push too hard, and that's what's gonna push him over. You know, I mean, I know Star Wars, so I feel like that's what's gonna happen.
Relationships, everything.
I feel like everything gets fucked up just when it's getting good. So I am worried about that. If Star Wars could stop it with the spiders, I would really appreciate it.
I would also appreciate it.
It is this was so much. It was like the whole episode was just like up in a spider's face with like the weird tentacle thing. What are they called? They're not tentacles, like pincher things.
It's pinchers.
Yeah, it's got like a beak.
It was disgusting. I will say like the eyes were actually kind of cute. Like they weren't the creepiest eyes I've ever seen, but just like the bony legs and oh God, it's so gross, disgusting. However, Zeb chilling like in his own little, like, trailer park situation was amazing. He just like cranked the rock tunes up. I thought that was so cute. Just watching the sunset, like he was definitely drinking a beer. Like
absolutely.
Gave some to Ezra.
Oh yeah, he's like. I feel like if Zeb was a movie character, and I'm gonna keep going back to National Lampoon, and I don't know why. He's like that weird uncle, right? The one that like lives in the trailer park in Vegas and just like crushes beer
Randy
cans
Quaid.
on his
Oh
head.
yeah.
That's Zeb to me in this episode.
Cousin Eddie. Oh, shitter's full, everyone.
Oh my God, amazing. But that was super cute. I actually really like that Sabine and Rex went on a mission together. I feel like we haven't seen them together that much. And so it was cool to see like a different pairing. That was nice. I like that. This just says Zeb equals strong Ron Weasley arachnophobia vibes.
More than two legs is just excessive.
I mean, it was that part was like 100% like Ron, like, why couldn't it be follow the butterflies, right? That was exactly it. And this whole episode was just like such strong Ron and Harry escaping from Aragog and his family. Like that was the whole episode.
Yes.
Which obviously I liked it because anything that reminds me of Ron Weasley, I'm here for. Hera is so salty about Kanan and Ezra leaving.
Yeah.
And yet she's like not saying anything about it. And it's like, just talk to him about it. Like, I don't really understand. Like, you're this like super strong woman who like can lead this whole fleet and like run a whole crew and all this stuff. And she's just like being super passive aggressive with Kanan. And it's just like, well, we better get used to being without you guys anyways. And it's like, just be like, I don't want you to go.
It was really nice. I did like the moment, though. It was really nice to see Sabine be the one to kind of push them to actually talk it out. Like,
agreed.
Kids finally like rising up to the parent level and being like, yo, you guys taught us this. Now it's time to put up or shut up.
Yeah.
Agree, 1,000,000%. I really like that Sabine, like while she was like leaning against the like whatever she was on, is just like, are you an idiot?
Yeah, she did the whole like face palm.
Yeah.
She's like,
It was
wow.
super cute. But okay, so let me just like make sure I understand this. So Kanan and Ezra are planning on leaving to go fight the Inquisitors. But like, what are they waiting for exactly?
Right now, they're waiting on Ahsoka to come back. So it's going to be the three of
Got it.
them
Right.
are going to go on some kind of mission to hopefully solve the Inquisitor problem.
Okay. Oh, and I assume the Inquisitor problem is just they're going to kill them.
Well,
that
that's
their
what
plan?
Ezra thinks.
Yeah, that's what Ezra seems to think the plan is, and he's not super happy about it.
Okay, but isn't there like a whole Inquisitor like training like school? Like there's not
Yeah,
just
so
one
at this point,
Inquisitor.
at this point, we don't actually know what that plan is.
Okay.
We know that they're going to go and hopefully stop the Inquisitors, but we know nothing beyond that.
Okay. I guess like what I'm picturing for the Inquisitors, and this is probably stupid, but I'm picturing my favorite planet of Camino with just like a bunch of like baby Inquisitors like running around, like getting trained. And it's going to be like, well, they're going to go, like, they already killed the Grand Inquisitor, right? Or whatever his name was.
Yep.
But then, like, 2 more Inquisitors show up. And so it's like, are you going to go kill those 2? And then there's going to be 4 more Inquisitors that show up. Or, like, I don't know. I just feel like this is not a very solid plan. And also the show hasn't told us what the plan is. They're just like, we're leaving when Ahsoka comes back and training very hard until then. Like, okay. But, like, why can't Hera go?
Dangerous. Well, and she wants to stay with the fleet. I mean,
Yeah,
but,
they're
like,
trying to do this independent of the fleet.
But what if they, like, need somebody to pick them up? I feel like they're always like, get over here for pickup. It's like, who's going to be here for pickup?
you will see.
Yeah.
You will find out.
All right. I mean, I'm just concerned. Like, I don't understand why they've got to split up. That just seems very stupid. But there you go.
And they're
I thought
worried
it was,
that the Inquisitors will find the fleet too, because they're searching from it. The ghosts could leave and go with them, but then the fleet would have one less ship.
aren't the Inquisitors force sensitive?
Yeah.
What are they using their force sensitivity for, if not to find the fleet?
That's what they're trying to do, but
Well, they're not doing
the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors are not specifically tasked with finding the Rebel fleet. They are specifically tasked with finding other Force sensitives.
and they've been doing a pretty good job of tracking Ezra and Kanan. But, yeah.
Have they? I feel like we haven't seen them in a little bit.
We haven't seen them in a hot minute, so we're not really sure if they're just being good about staying hidden. I mean, Kanan managed to stay off the radar of the Empire for years.
Sure. Right.
So
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's one of those things where it's like you have a little bit of plot armor because they can't be there all the time. And
also, the last time we saw them was at the temple on Lothal, and if they discovered that as a temple, that might be taking up a little bit of their time.
if they're trying to like search through the temple, I guess.
I just feel like this is a harebrained plan and I don't like it. So
Such an Anakin plan.
I mean, it really is. It's like I can do this on my own plan, like not taking into account like everything that Kanan knows about like teamwork and family, like that you would assume that he's learned this whole time.
Right.
So it's like, why do you feel like you need to do this on your own?
I guess he's trying to keep them safe. He's got that Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Gotta make sure everybody's safe thing going on. It's always like that with the heroes. They're like, I have to make sure my loved ones are safe.
And I can
And then
only
the other
do that
loved
by
ones
leaving.
are like, and the other loved one is like, why would you leave us? Like Ron and Hermione are like, we're not going to leave you, Harry. Like, that's dumb.
Okay, all that is fair, but I don't feel like we've seen that from Kanan because he was like, Death Planet, send Hera. She won't make it out alive. Send her for sure. Like, that's not what I've seen from Kanan. I've seen a lot of like, he trusts Hera to make good and like smart decisions and be strong. And so like, why is he now just being like, nah, you stay back, babes? Like,
I think
take
that
care of
ultimately comes down to, we talked about this a little bit earlier when we went to the characters and relationships. I mean, Kanan is terrified.
Yeah,
Kanan
he's
is
really scared.
absolutely terrified right now. So I wouldn't count on him to make rational thoughts right now.
Yeah,
But
Ezra
doesn't
seems
fear
to be
lead
more
to
on
the dark
ball.
side?
It does.
Okay.
We'll see how things go.
There it does.
I'm concerned. I'm also kind of concerned that Ezra couldn't connect with those spiders. Like I feel like that's going to come back at some point where it's just like, why couldn't he connect with the spiders? But this note just says, fuck these spiders. So there you go.
Yes, indeed.
Okay. Okay, so they're in the spider den, right? And Sabine is like wrenching the legs apart to get Rex out, yeah?
Mhm.
And then they're like, let's go, like let's roll out, like we need to get out of here, the spiders are here. And I just wrote, they kind of forgot about the lieutenant. Like, what?
Yep.
They were like, oh, we need to go find her. And then they're like, nope, not even gonna bring her up.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mentioned this earlier. It's like, I guess Dicer's just dead. I guess
Yeah,
we're just
I
not
guess
going to see her again.
that's.
But like that was so weird not to mention it.
Yeah.
They could have been like, oh, there's her corpse. Or
Yeah.
like,
Yes. Or
I
Rex
mean, I
could have
know-
said she's gone. Like,
right.
Yeah.
Right. It would have been that easy. Just be like, watched her get eaten by a large spider. Oops. And, like, I know we found her helmet, but like that didn't signify enough to me that she was dead.
Yeah. Especially since they didn't just immediately kill Rex.
Yeah. And Rex was 100% fine.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, that was so weird. So whatever. Also, like, how armored are these things? Like,
Very.
the freaking
Very.
ship cannons were not hurting them.
And how strong is that like webbing? Like seriously.
Yeah, that was wild.
Mhm.
Like I was gonna ask this a little bit later, Colleen. Do we know if these guys are like related to Zillo beasts in
Ooh.
some way?
I mean, I don't think so, but they're both super powerful creatures that are really hard to take down.
Yeah.
Like, it takes even like a couple blows with a lightsaber to pierce its armor. So, yeah.
It was crazy.
Mhm.
So, okay,
They're
do they
nuts.
hate the beeping of the like?
Probably the frequency.
Yeah,
Like maybe-
something like that. Like the similar type of thing that happens with like an invisible dog fence.
Got
Mm.
it. Okay, because every time they got near it, I like heard the beeping, and I was like, okay, I guess they don't like the beeping, but I guess that was their way of showing us frequency.
They probably don't like that either.
Okay, this has an exclamation point next to it in my notes, so I'm gonna just bring this up. But the end of this episode, Kanan and Hera hugging at sunset. I felt robbed that there was no kiss. So unbelievably robbed. Like,
Mhm.
I couldn't even believe it. Also, like, kind of reminded me, and I'm just thinking about this now because you brought up Rogue One earlier, Anders. Because I know yet another Star Wars is going to be doing Rogue One soon. But
Yes.
ooh, this kind of reminds me of that like final by the
Mhm.
beach scene where like they're just like hugging and
That one's not a sunset. That is a massive nuclear explosion.
right,
mean-
right. But
an
the color
artificial
palette
one.
is similar. Similar color palette of
Mhm.
destruction and doom. So that it kind of just reminded me of that. Yeah, I just feel sad for them, but I also like can't feel that bad because they're not communicating very well. So I don't know where all the therapists are in space, but they should probably get one.
Like nowhere. Just none. Maz Kanata's like the only one. She's on Takodana somewhere doing something.
So yeah, overall, I liked the episodes, didn't love the episodes. Side questy, spiders, not my jam, but enjoyable.
Excellent.
I'd say like out of 10, probably like a 5.
Ooh.
I mean,
All
they were
right.
just fine. Like they were there.
Yes. Yeah. They're definitely leading into something.
Like here's the thing, like I trust Rebels enough at this point to know that they're leading into something.
Hmm.
You
But
just
I'm
want to get
also-
there faster.
Yes. I also like I understand they couldn't put these episodes into one episode because like we wouldn't have Chopper Base if not for the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
But like the characters weren't together anyways, and so it just feels like we could do some more like split episode, like not like a split screen, but like Chopper's doing this and Sabine's doing this and Hera's doing this, and instead it's
Mhm.
just like here's an entire episode about Chopper rolling through a space station. Like, all right, I didn't need that much.
Like a boss.
Like a boss for sure, but he didn't even like shoot a gun in this one, so
That's very true.
I'm not
Where
here
was
for
his blaster? For real.
honestly, that
All he needs is a
remains my
leg.
favorite.
The leg. Yeah, he's just whipping that leg around like crazy.
Well, like Rocket. Doesn't
Yes.
Rocket use a leg as a weapon?
I think he does at some point, yeah.
I think he does
I
too.
need that leg. I need that guy's
How much for
eye.
the arm?
That's right. Oh man.
I love it so much. Okay, guys, I think we're ready to head into our 6th holocron, which is Conjecture at the Cantina. I'm going to start us off with what Dave Filoni and crew had to say about these episodes. Well, Flo, AP5 sounds like Snape for a reason. Woo! Yes. Voice actor Steven Stanton, who is amazing. I love him. Based his performance on Alan Rickman, who also voiced a depressed robot named Marvin for the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy film. So yes, he's like, we're going to make this guy sound cranky and depressed. What do we do? Alan Rickman.
That's right.
Perfect. Absolutely love it. AP is also named after producer Athena Yvette Portillo, and the 5 references her height. So I'm guessing she's really short.
Wow. Okay.
Like shots fired at poor Athena's height, I suppose. I did like this part. Pablo Hidalgo mentioned that they gave Chopper a friend because he doesn't really get an arc really much in the series. He's who he is. He's going to stay who he is. But he does have a history that made him this way, which was really cute to see. The casting crew were also joking about who voices Chopper. Everyone took credit. Everyone, like Freddie Prinze Jr. took credit. Taylor Gray took credit. Some of the producers did. Everyone except Dave Filoni took credit for voicing Chopper. And then also, this was really cool. Pablo Hidalgo also told Rebels Recon host Andy Gutierrez the solving of this riddle that fans have been like, well, this isn't right. This can't be correct. The Inquisitor's lightsabers. Where is the Kyber crystal? Because it can't be in the hilt because of how it spins. Pablo actually said that the crystals are in the circular part near where the emitters are. So where the blades are coming out from, that is where the Kyber is.
Interesting. I just figured they were like dead center.
That's what I thought too, but apparently they thought about it and were like, the fans are going to eat us alive over this if the blade spins and the Kyber isn't lined up with it. They're going to lose their minds over this. So that is what he said.
Weird.
Huh. Speaking of Kyber crystals, I was wondering this about when Kanan and Ezra are having their like marathon sparring match. Their blades look they're a different shade of blue. I feel like they're not as bright as usual. Do they have like a training mode that says like, if I accidentally hit you, it won't?
Oh, that's
an excellent question. I know in Legends they sure don't, because Jason Solo lobs off somebody's hand while they're sparring.
Well, that's because he's a solo child and nothing can ever go right for them.
That's also fair. I mean, it could be though. I mean, the training sabers for the kiddos are basically safetied.
Yeah.
I think when Yoda.
I was watching it this time, but I'm like, that is a darker shade of blue. Also, I like it a little bit better.
I mean, it certainly would be wise for them to have some sort of like training mode, because I'm not over here handing like 7-year-olds a weapon and being like, have at it, bro. Like the little younglings in the temple.
Ding, ding, ding,
I mean,
ding.
you get the pencils, right? What if you've got yourself a little John Wick?
So, there's a reason why I don't even let them use a stapler in my class. I'm like, don't touch anything.
Yeah, don't touch anything. Hole punch, no. Get away from it.
Nope.
So I have a theory. If anyone out there actually can lend some credence to this, I would greatly appreciate it. But my theory on the entire plot of The Forgotten Droid is that Dave Filoni was sitting around one day and he was thinking, C-3PO and R2-D2 are just such an iconic duo. They are always paired together, but they don't really have a fun origin story of like how they became a pair. They each have their own individual stories of where they came from. And then it was just like suddenly, cool, you're together now. And now you're just suddenly always together. So he was just like, you know what? Let's write them a better origin story. But we can't retcon it, so let's make a Chopper instead.
I mean, this was exactly that pairing, right? Like,
yeah,
it was the same.
Yeah, they absolutely. AP5 is a little bit looser than 3PO. Like when he does when he like drops the arm, he's like, you abandoned your posts.
That was hysterical.
Definitely sassier.
Definitely
they're
sassier.
Both much more big jerks than 3PO and R2. I like that idea though. Like Filoni's like, we need to give Chopper a friend. Who's going to be Chopper's friend? Who can put up with him, I guess, and sass him back.
Yes.
Right.
And I've got a question for Flo. What do you think Kanan meant?
Happen.
Oh, I love asking Flo questions. There's going to be so many questions for you next week.
Okay.
What do you think Kanan meant when he told Ezra, you win by surviving?
Okay, so when he said that, I was immediately transported back to Game of Thrones, where in the Game of Thrones you win or you die.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And so I think, like, to me, this was like just like an outlast your opponent sort of situation. Like, you don't like really, there's no winning in this, because like Ezra was talking about like, I'm gonna have to kill somebody or whatever. And it's like, that's not winning. Like the only win you can have is to not die yourself, but it's not much of a win. That's how I took it. I don't know if that's how he meant it. I don't think Kanan is the best with the words all the time either. So
that is fair. I like that interpretation of it. Like,
I do.
Yes. I think that's definitely part of what he's saying. Like, Ezra, no, like this is not, killing someone doesn't mean you win.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Ezra has like still like a kind of a childlike interpretation of winning, where it's like, I bested somebody and now like I'm the best. And
Right.
I guess like the goal isn't to be the best here. The goal is like literally to just like be able to live another day and like maybe have a future. So
Yeah, just keep going.
yeah.
which is basically what the Ghost Crew's been doing for so long.
Yeah, right. Like they've definitely just been surviving and not thriving. That's for sure. Like they can't relax. Like they can't. Like we never like really see them like go have fun or go out.
Until now, I mean, we see Zeb chilling.
Zeb finally gets to chill once they get a base.
That's chill.
Except they're like, fucking giant spiders.
Until he gets attacked by a bunch of weird ass arachnids, he got to chill. But I mean, I guess that's what this is, right? Like this is like living in a war, I would assume. It's just like you're trying to make it to the next day and like hope for something better, but it's not much of a win.
But we still have hope.
I mean, rebellions are built on hope, babes.
That they are. And I think with that, guys, that's going to wrap it up for today. So tune in next time as we close out season 2 with the explosive finale, Twilight of the Apprentice.
Favorite.
Yes. Been waiting for this one.
I have not, but I'm excited.
Absolute favorite Rebels, maybe favorite Star Wars moments ever.
Okay.
Coming up.
Until then, please follow us wherever you get your podcasts and leave us those 5-star reviews. Check out our website at bohemiangeekstudies.com, where you can watch all of our episodes, enjoy Colleen's book corner, where she's reviewing Star Wars literature, and contact us through email and social media. And as always, keep